This is a tutorial on a mixed factorial analysis of variance, or ANOVA, and this test should be conducted if you are comparing a within subjects comparison, such as a pre-post test, with a between subjects comparison, which could be an intervention versus control. And you want to see if there's an interaction between the within subjects comparison and the between subjects comparison. So in this particular study, participants went to a museum exhibit, and half of them used their camera to document their visit and half did not. Everybody listened to an audio tour. At the end, they took two memory tests. One was visual and one was audio. Now, the between subjects comparison here is condition, which you can see over here, photo versus no photo, whereas the within subjects comparison, what everyone experienced was the video memory and the audio memory. Audio memory is noted as A% and video memory is noted as V%. So even though there is a between subjects component, we're going to use the repeated measures ANOVA to do the mixed. So go to general linear model, repeated measures. Our factor here is going to be modality. So this is audio versus visual. That is our within subjects factor. We're not putting in condition here because that isn't within subjects. That's between subjects. So on to the next. Within subjects variable modality, we're going to have audio percent and we're going to have visual percent accuracy. Our between subjects factor is condition. So we're going to look in our list here to find our condition. Right there is our condition. That's between subjects because half of the participants were allowed to use their camera or told to use their camera and the other half were not. We're going to go to options to get our descriptive statistics. That's our means and standard deviations. Click continue. And we'll go to plots to be able to look at what's happening. And you'll see that the factors are both here, both the within and the between. So we're going to do condition and modality, click add. Let's do a bar chart. And we always include an error bar so we get an idea of how the means vary in terms of their spread. Click continue and OK. Now you'll see here for modality, these numbers are important to keep track of because throughout the reporting and the SPS output, within subjects comparisons are listed as the number for the level they are. They're not listed as their condition name. And then also condition 0, 1, no photo, photo. Here are descriptive statistics. We're just looking at these means. We can tell that the mean for audio percent is likely going to be higher than the mean for visual percent. And moving on, we don't need to worry about multivariate tests. Again, those are tests of the intercepts. We do not need to worry about Mauchly's test of sphericity. That is only considered when the within subjects comparison has 3 or more levels. We only have 2, audio and visual. So let's move on to actually see what our effects are, tests of within subjects effects. So we don't need to worry about whether or not sphericity is assumed because, again, we don't have to care about the test of sphericity. This is something we incorporate when we have to be concerned with that. We can see their degree of freedom of 1 is 1 because we have 2 levels, video, audio, -1 is 1. And then condition and modality interaction is also 1 because there are 2 conditions. So n-1, 2-1 equals 1, 1 times 1 equals 1. And you can see that there is a significant effect for modality as well as a significant interaction for modality and condition. That means that the effects of one of these depends on the level of the other or the groupings of the other. If we go down here to between subjects effects, we see that there is not a significant difference between photo and no photo. So there's no main effective condition but there is a main effective modality and an interaction between modality and condition. When we look at these graphs here, we can get an idea of where that effect is. We can see that when there's no photo, appears to be a much bigger difference between the visual and the auditory modalities than if there's a photo. However, we can see in both conditions that there is likely a significant difference between visual and audio. So let's explore that a little bit by conducting some follow-up tests. We can go over to estimated marginal means. We just need to do condition and modality, compare simple effects, and we'll correct using SDAC. Click OK. And if we scroll on down to the bottom, we can see that in our pairwise comparisons, if we look within the modalities, that in modality 2, there's a big difference between photo and no photo. So reminding ourselves, modality 2 is the visual. So that would mean that there is a difference between audio, and there's a difference between photo and no photo for the visual modality only, but not the auditory modality. That's probably an easier way to understand the nature of the interaction than to do a comparison within photo, because we look within photo and we see that while these are both significant, there's both different, we can see that there's a bigger difference in no photo than photo, but it's not as clean to interpret as to say it's significant within one condition and not significant within the other. So there you have it.